This Toce Performance install video is for the Yamaha R9. So we start with removing the 4 bolts on each side of the lower pan, the several on top. Once we remove all of the exterior black bolts, there are several silvers to release the second layer. There are some for the side fairings that are underneath the radiator. Then there are also several on the higher side of the radiator.
Let's pry it out. I just gotta pull out. Slowly and carefully kind of pull on it. Get the little clips out. Like that. Take the drain hose. You have to remove this bolt that is the bracket for the radiator. You do not have to remove the lower bolt. You just have to remove the top one, and that bracket will swivel up and out of the way in order to remove the stock header. The bolts that hold the flanges for the header. Remove them completely. There should be 6. There's one here, and there's one on the opposite side, on the left side of the bike. And you're going to loosen this side, and then take the other side out. You just kind of, once you take both of these bolts out, the whole exhaust will want to fall. Just be careful for it. Either put a hand underneath it or something to catch it. In the exhaust, you want to remove the O2 sensor first. So now that you got everything loose and off, you want to move the flanges out of the way so they don't get hung up. Make sure that bracket that we loosened earlier for the radiator is out of the way. And the whole exhaust should just drop right off and out. So now we're going to start installing the headers, which are numbered 1, 2, and 3. 1 is always the left, 2 is middle, 3 is the right. So we'll start with 1. Doesn't really matter, whatever you're comfortable with. When getting these on, just get the bolts snug. Don't tighten them down because you're going to need to adjust everything and kind of finagle things to get into place. Slut. Come back with your ratchet and just kind of, don't snug them down, just get them to the point where they're not going to be all wishy-washy. It's nice and snug, nothing crazy. We will eventually come back and tighten everything down to a proper torque spec. That should be good. Up and down and around, but they're not too tight where you can't really move them around. We still got to put the collector on. So if you want to be cool and loud and obnoxious, you just start it with open headers. Installing the collector. This bracket lines up on the back side of this tab here. You want to make sure that all your spring tabs line up. There's one here, and then one on each pipe. This spring tab gets shared with the first and the second cylinder. The third gets its own. So the bolt that you removed that was holding the stock exhaust, you reuse that on this bolt, and we provide you with a new nut and a new fender washer. Get it snug, don't tighten all the way down. So before we do anything, we have to remove this rear set here and remove these hardware, these bolts. And the Toce bracket for the R9, which sits behind like so. So we provide you with these long M8s, which you're going to get in, get them started, get them to start kicking out the back a little bit, about an inch or so. Nothing crazy, because you still have to fit that bracket in. Same thing for the top, just so it's sticking through the back about an inch or so. Now we take the bracket and we're going to fish it through these two slots. Once it's in place and over both bolts, we're going to bury the bolts all the way in. Get them both on before you tighten them. So right now, the bracket can obviously move up and down. What you want to do is you want to find the absolute highest it'll go. Those slots are not for adjustability. They're for, so if you want to raise your rear set up to the second notch that comes on the stock frame. And then, once you have it in position, you can tighten it. That's it. Now your bracket is on. To install the muffler. You want to line this tab up with that hole on the bracket while you're slipping on the slip joint, all kind of at the same time, until this is bottomed out and that hole is lined up. 6mm socket head cap, put it into the bracket, which already has a threaded bushing. Get finger started, and then you send her home. Last but not least, gotta tighten down the strap. You want it to basically right at the edge, like so. So now that we're all installed, we have to go back and start from here and work our way back on putting everything in and torquing everything down to the torque specs. Don't forget to reinstall the radiator bracket mount that mounts to the motor.
So I don't know. Yeah. What number is it? Yeah.
Lastly, we're going to tighten up this bolt here.
Yeah.
You could install these. If you don't have a spring puller, you could use a set of pliers, needle nose, vice grips, channel locks, a screwdriver, whatever you need, whatever you can figure out. And that's that. So the kit comes with a whole new extension kit. So your stock one, you're going to unplug it from the harness, like so. And we have a reducer that is going to go in. So if you want to put the reducer in first, or if you want to put it on the spark or the O2 sensor first, whatever, it doesn't matter as long as it all gets put together right. Just snug it down, doesn't have to be cranked. You could either run this here to our extension plug here and then up into the harness, or there's enough slack on this harness where you could run it up and through and above the motor and then down. Kind of whatever path you would like, do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way of doing this, as long as you don't see it. Before starting the bike, wipe down all the pipes, get all your fingerprints off of it, because if you don't, your fingerprints will actually burn onto the pipe and it just looks like shit. You could use WD-40 even. Now that we're done, we're going to start the bike and kind of put your hands around it, see at all the joints, see if anything's leaking. If it's leaking, fix it accordingly. Once you're all set and you got no leaks, reinstall the fairings, the lower fairing, the side fairings in reverse from the way that you took them off, and then you're ready to go.